talk a little bit about that, Bri, in terms of the odd end jobs, because you came back home and you was doing those odd end jobs. Mm-hmm. And around that time as well, Bri, we actually got this hard hitters movement going in the city, and Bri, of course, you was helping out with that alongside working your job, right? Let's talk a little bit about that, Bri, because in some of the content that I release, I talk about like hard hitters to those that are viewing these videos, and they may look at it like, oh yeah, the entertainment business or whatever. Yeah. But let's just talk a little bit about that, Bri, because you saw the coming together of hard hitters while you was working your job when you came back from college at that time. First of all, Bri, talk about what did you see when it came to hard hitters at that time, and why did you even want to be a part of it to help push what was going on at that time? We was doing music, of course, club promotions later on, but really more music. What did you see there, Bri? Let's talk a little bit about that.
So the thing of it is, me and you, we like this. Mm-hmm. So whatever you with, I know you're going to go hard at it. Mm. You going to go hard at it. Yeah. So if you say, Bri, this is what we doing. Mm-hmm. But it's what we doing. We ain't got it's nothing to talk about. Yeah. This is where we at. Yeah. So when it came to the music, mm-hmm. had all your stuff together, you was in college, when you came back. Yeah. And you was like, I'm going to start the label. Mm-hmm. We dumb. Okay. How we do that? Yeah. Yeah. So you took all of us to the Secretary of State. Yep, exactly. You got the documents, got everything incorporated. Yep. I was a this. Yep. He was a that. Yep. Okay. Now it's real. Absolutely. So that time we didn't know what we was doing, but it was something important. Exactly. Exactly. So for me, I learned in everything I do. Right. So in that sense, picking that up from seeing that, and we was approaching the music differently than what a lot of people were doing. Mm-hmm. We were a label. Yep. An official label. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of people were just trying to be artists at that time. Yep. And so for me, with you, so me and you, it was never, I can't say this to G, you type shit. I'm going to tell you what the truth, whether you like it or not. There it is. So when it came down to the business side of it, I'm like, well, G, listen, you the artist. Yep. You going to get paid. Me and him, we don't rap. So how we going to get paid doing this? Yeah. So that's when I started looking at business differently, like, okay, what else can I do in business? There you go. My first time picking up a business book. I'm not even in college at the time. I found a thick old business book. I'm sitting down. Like, damn, we can do all this. Yeah, so reading that, and of course, we kept moving and So yeah, absolutely, what really sparked me then. Yep. But I had your back 1,000% regardless. That's 100%. Just how we rock. My brother, you already know. And the thing about it, Bri, as well, is I was even telling Antonio this. I said, Bri was not a yes man. Even my brother Juice too. And that's who he's talking about as well if you're listening to this. Yeah, our brother Juice. What's going on? Yep, our brother Juice grew up with us as well, right around the way. And the thing is, I say, Bri or even Juice was not yes man. What I mean by that is I play records for you all that we had been made in the studio. And Bri gonna say thumbs up or thumbs down. Juice gonna do the same thing. And that's one thing. Bri, talk a little bit about that, because a lot of times people have yes men or even yes women around them where they just, everything's good. Yeah. But you wasn't afraid to get a constructive criticism. Juice at the time either was not afraid to get a constructive criticism when I brought those records and I shared them with y'all what we had been cooking up in the studio. Talk a little bit about that, Bri, because some of these people, like, listen to this, they might be creatives or they might be entrepreneur, business owners, whatever they're doing. But, like, talk a little bit about that, not having yes men, yes women around you. You know what I mean? Yeah, to that degree, and especially in that space, in that creative space. Right. As the artist, you were in your head. Yeah. You ain't listening to what's popping on the radio at the moment. Right. You in your own world. Yep. Cool, artist mode. Exactly. We in business mode. Yeah. So you can't do that. They don't want to hear this right now. You know what I mean? We feel you. Yeah. It's fine, but we gotta do something else. Yep. Yep. So that's on the music side. Mm-hmm. But then to me, money. Let's say this. Most artists back then, think about it. You had bread. That's all you had to your name to do stuff. How you made your bread, not nobody's business. Exactly. But people always just respected the money. That's true. So now, as back then, you got a label. You're an artist. You got 15 people with you. You paying for all these boys to get in the club.
Exactly.
You paying for all the drinks.
Yep.
You think a nigga gonna tell you no? You know what I mean?
Right.
That just ain't too many people.
That's what
when you got, you know.
That's where the yes men and yes women come in. Yeah.
Just respecting the money and not seeing, hey man, or to me, they don't care about you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I agree.
A yes man, a yes, that'll hurt you for sure.
I agree. And what I want to do, Bree, is unwind it a little bit too in terms of this. Because we talked about hard hitters, but of course, this started even from myself collaborating with Ra, right? MP, that's where it started from. And then, of course, you know, eventually we started hard hitters as well. Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot from, of course, being around Ra, definitely. And I brought it over to hard hitters. And then, of course, we came up with a lot of our own ideas and our own ways of doing things. But talk about our hustle, Bree. You know what I mean? Because I remember at one time we wanted to raise capital, and I talk about this sometimes with different entrepreneurs and business owners. They talk about they don't have a lot of money, right? We did car washes.
We did. We did.
Like, we did car washes.
We did.
Like, literally, it's a lot of ways to make money out here. We're not going to talk about the different ways you could have made money back then. But what I'm saying is we had on Checkers, on Glenwood and Columbia Drive, did a car wash. And we got some of the people out there that ain't living the best lifestyles.
The locals.
Yeah, locals right around the way. Washing cars. And, of course, you know, we collecting the money and we paying them. And also we passing out CDs.
Exactly. Everybody come through, get a car wash, get a CD.
Getting the CD at the same time. That's creative, right? We talk about our ways of doing things because a lot of people, they don't think creative in that way in today's time. You know, everything on the internet now. I'm going to be quite frank with you, man. The way we came up, Bree, I kind of feel like it's a lot of laziness now, man, when it comes to creativity, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to just growing businesses amongst certain people. I'm not saying everybody's lazy. I'm just saying I feel that amongst some these days. What would you say, Bree, in regards to that grind, that hustle, the way we created versus like now where you see everybody, I just want to post on social media and I'm going on about my day and hopefully some people reach out to me about my business. Like, what would you say there?
Now to that's where it's a gray area because, you know, we came up in a time with no social media.
Right, it wasn't no social media really popping as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now our young next generation, they had social media their whole lives.
Right.
So they work it a little different.
Exactly.
You know, they might only got to post that one post to make it do what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's one of them where all we can do is learn from them. You know what I mean? Because you can't compete.
Yep.
These folks know too much. These kids, you know?
Yeah.
They know too much. But, so it is a sense of laziness.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't call it laziness. Just, we got so much AI. You know, so many tools. And it's one of them things where we can't be mad that they use these tools that,
No.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
We in new day and time with that. Yeah, absolutely.
But the grind back then was different. We didn't have the internet per se like that. I think Soulja Boy was just popping.
Exactly.
When
he was.
He was younger than us.
Yep.
But he he understood the internet.
I remember it.
Because you had shows with Soulja Boy.
Yeah,
I remember.
back then, yes.
So that was
absolutely
funny. Open mics.
Yep.
The lady was like, at that time, I crossed my heart. When we was doing music and Soulja Boy blew up, I said, G, but we ain't got it. How the hell we gonna make it? This shit blowing up. That's what they want. I ain't got it.
And we not even making that kind of music.
No, we ain't even doing this.
Yeah, the snap era. Yeah, we weren't really heavy on that.
We ate Jeezy them. You know what I mean?
Right.
We ate.
Exactly.
We couldn't
and
dance.
That's what was going on at that time.
So,
that's what was going on at that time.
Hey.
Like, seriously, that's what was going on at that time. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, D4L shouted low there.
D4L.
Crazy.
Yep, Laffy Taffy.
You know what I mean?
Right, all it was snap music.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wasn't really big on that, like you said. Of course, Jeezy was heavy on street music. So yeah, it was.
So when we see Soulja Boy blow, and blow, and we in the same circles,
right?
And I've seen even some artists at these showcases that were better than Soulja.
Yeah,
but it's like, they don't want this.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't sad for me, but I not fall back, but I know this your thing. So whatever you say, G, what we doing next?
Yeah.
How we gonna keep this thing rolling?
Absolutely.